Saturday, July 10th, and it's been a little while since we talked, and thought I'd just go ahead and give everybody a quick weather update because it is the middle of summer and we don't get a lot of chances for severe weather, and so I wanted to give you a quick update. I don't think we're going to see a lot of severe weather here in North Texas per se, but it will be something a little different, a little stronger system than we normally have this time of year in the middle of summer. So I just thought I'd give you a quick update on what you can expect overnight and probably really more into the early morning hours. So this is the latest forecast from the Storm Prediction Center. As you can see, the bigger risk of severe thunderstorms are in Oklahoma in a enhanced risk area. You do see some slight risk area creeping down into North Texas across the Red River. Then for Dallas-Fort Worth, you see a marginal risk of severe weather. And as a matter of fact, we will go to the graphics here and get you a little bit more detail here. All right, so let's do this. All right, so this is a kind of a blow up of where the demarcation lines are. So again, you can see the Sherman, Wichita Falls, Hugo, Oklahoma areas. They're in the slight risk area, slight risk category for severe thunderstorms. And so you McKinney, Dallas-Fort Worth, just south of Dallas-Fort Worth, it's in the marginal risk. And really the marginal risk is for us, it's really more for damaging winds. Tornadoes aren't really a threat at all. Hail, maybe, but not really a threat in any sense of the word for us. All right, so let's look at the particulars. So again, this is a tornado threat that the Storm Prediction Center looks at. And again, you see a 5%, which is not that shabby if you think about it for the middle of July. But then you have a 2% in Oklahoma and just barely crossing the Red River. That lines up with the slight risk of severe thunderstorms that you see. And then if you go to the hail threat, again, you see a 30% chance in northeast Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas. Most of Oklahoma is in the slight risk, or excuse me, the 15% category for hail. And then you see a 5% risk for us, which I don't think we're going to have much of a hail risk at all. Now, here's the thing that we would have to be concerned about. I think if we're concerned about anything, and that's wind. Now, again, as you may remember, hopefully you remember, that when you see the 5% shading, that means you have a 5% chance of seeing a wind gust of 58 miles an hour or greater. That's how it's defined in severe weather parlance, within 25 miles of a point. So when you add it all up statistically, your chances aren't very great. But when these storms move through after midnight, really closer to sunrise, maybe even after sunrise, if there's going to be a severe element to them, it's going to be damaging wind. Like I said, if you might have a case to where you have a storm that has hail in it, but again, I don't think that's going to be a big story for us at all. Maybe up in Oklahoma, along with the tornado threat, but not for us. And then as we go on to, this is tomorrow, actually, this is a day 2 outlook, so this is tomorrow afternoon. And this front, and yes, it is a front, is coming down, and so the thought is that it'll go far enough south to where most of the rough weather, relatively speaking, will be south of Dallas-Fort Worth. But this is kind of tricky. It depends on what happens overnight, because if the storms do come through with a lot of being robust, I should say, then most of this threat's going to be south of us. If they kind of peter out and don't do much for us in the morning, then I think this line would shift a little bit more north. So with that, let's take a look at some live statistics, if you will. So it's outside my house. So it's 90 degrees. So believe me, for the almost middle of July, that is nothing to complain about, really. It's pretty humid out there, but yeah, I'll take this weather any day of the week during the summer. All right, so I'm going to refresh this. So this is a satellite picture. So I did want to show kind of what's going on right now in Oklahoma, and you can kind of get a better feel for what we can expect to see. So if I can kind of get this to work here. So right now, the front is something like this. And again, it's going to be moving south steadily during the evening hours and overnight hours. And so the thought is that come sunrise, it'll be somewhere along here. Now, if that's the case, then I do think you'll see, storms along here. I don't think it'll be a solid line or anything like that, but I think that's where the biggest threat's going to be if this continues like they think. Now, again, you could see up in Oklahoma, you could see the big blow up of thunderstorms, and I think you're going to see that line start to fill in a little bit towards the southwest. Now, the models are kind of all over the place in a little bit. So let's take a look at a couple of those. So the HRRR, which is a fairly reliable model a lot of times, they're somewhat bullish on this. And so if we kind of scroll this down a little bit, We scoot over to the early morning hours. You can kind of see this line that they expect. It's already starting to form, of course. And then you can kind of see that they take it all the way down into Dallas-Fort Worth. So that's about sunrise, 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock. So the HRRR thinks that we'll get some storms. So nothing unusual there. I think that's what most of the forecasts are kind of going by. Now, the NAM, the North American model, is not quite as bullish on storms. So for the same time period, you see that, they not much there, right? So they're not near as bullish on that. And the HRW model is a little bit more bullish. Again, you can see they kind of have a line going through here. Not quite as robust as the HRRR, but they do see we'll get storms. So I think that's why you see the forecast the way it is that most of the models are forecasting storms to roll through here. Now, like I said, it just depends on how strong they are, and that's what we have to watch out for. Certainly not a tornado threat, not really a hail threat in my opinion, but it's more of a wind threat. And in the summer, that can be significant sometimes. So, all right, so let's do this. Let's kind of fade this back over here, and let's see this. Get over here to my controls here. There we go. Okay, so kind of to summarize everything, this is a graphic that the National Weather Service in Fort Worth puts out. So again, strong to severe storms overnight, really more toward the morning, really. Now, here's the thing. So the way I see it is that nothing's going to happen tonight. You may get a pop-up shower here and there. And I don't even think a lot will happen between midnight and 5 o'clock in the morning. It's after that we'll have the chance of seeing severe weather. And really, I say severe weather, wind damage with the thunderstorms. Now, as you saw from one of the other models, that they may peter out. So if they do peter out before they get here, then in the afternoon is when we'd have a better chance to see it, although we may see development south. All right, so let's take a look at a radar out of Oklahoma City. And you can see this is where the storms are right now, and we'll put this in motion. And I'll kind of give you a feel for how the storm motion is going. So as you can tell right now, since they're more individualized storms, they are moving towards the southeast. Now, I think, again, as time goes on, I think what you're going to see is this line start to extend like this, and then, of course, it's going to head this way. Now, again, that's during overnight hours. This is summer, and forecast can be tricky, of course, because there have been many times that during the summer we thought that we were going to see something, and then we didn't. So this is no different in that case. And you can kind of see there, you see the enhanced category there on the radar, kind of overlaying that. So the bottom line is that, like I said, evening hours, no problem. If you got outdoor plans, watch out for the mosquitoes, but you should be fine. Like I said, the time to be on the alert, if you will, would be sunrise tomorrow and through the morning hours. Now, I do think it might be one of those situations to where it's an all or nothing thing. We may see quite a few robust thunderstorms, quite a few wind gusts. Again, it wouldn't be shocking to see them be severe from a wind gust standpoint, or we might not see much of anything. So I know that's a classic weather guy cop-out, right? But I think that the chances of seeing something was enough to come on and kind of give you an idea, mainly because it's the summer. We don't see a lot of severe weather in the summer. So I didn't want anybody to be surprised if they woke up tomorrow, especially if they're getting ready for church, something like that they would see, would be shocked to see something. So if something radically changes, I'll definitely keep you updated. But I think that's the takeaway, is that tonight, fine. In the morning, just be careful. We got plans going to church, what have you. Just be on the lookout for that. All right. So with that, I'll make sure I don't have anything else here. I think that was, make sure I didn't have one more graphic here. All right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the comments. Yes, Angela, I missed you too. Famous last words. I'm sure I said something that warranted that. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. Thank you, Teresa. Hope your husband's doing better. I think he is. And thank you, Andy. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll be watching everything. And again, nothing to be overly concerned about. It's just that it's more of an awareness thing. So I just want to come on and make everybody aware. All right. With that, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a great evening. Enjoy yourself. And we will talk to you soon.